All right, this is my 2022-2023 season predictions. Um, yeah, these standings they look weird, but I'm going to go with it. I don't really believe the standings, but I'm gonna go with it because I went game by game predicting all like the seeds and shit. I think the bottom teams are the ones that I think are gonna happen, but we'll see. So let's go team by team. So obviously I have the Bills. Let's go by division right now. All right, so in division I got the Bills in first. In the AFC East, obviously they're the best team. Outside of their punter, they're gonna sign Sam Martin. Watch them. They cut Matariza, but they have a great offense, good defense, great coach. Good culture. They missed the damn AFC Championship game by a coin toss. Um, but they got Brian Dable's not there. You know, some coaches are not there, but you still got Josh Allen, Diggs, Knox, new additions to the offense. You know, Gabriel Davis. You got plenty of players. You got Von Miller in the offseason. You got a good team, and I think they'll finish in the first seed. Even though, yeah, I'll finish 13-4. That's my prediction, I guess. I went team by team. I'm not gonna keep showing it because it's gonna take me forever, but I think they'll go 13-4 and win the division. Patriots, I think they slim out and make the playoffs barely, according to these predictions, because I went game by game. They're a good team. They don't have a star. Mac Jones' second year, he had a good rookie year. Last year, they got beat up in the playoffs. That's gonna make them learn, to win close games. But I think they'll lose one more game, but they get to the playoffs slightly. The Dolphins, I think, will be a disappointment. 7-10. So what? When did they fish last year? 8-6, 9 or something. I don't know. They'll be mediocre. I don't see them with Tua. O line's not that good. Ownership's fucking a mess. A new coach. Just Tyreek Hill's a great addition. But I just don't think the Dolphins are really that good. Out of all the teams advertised to be breakout, I just think the Dolphins are going to stay the same course. As for the Jets, I think they win two more games, even though Joe Flacco may be starting this year, at least at the beginning. But I think they win a couple more games and improve. Last year, they had 4 wins. This year, I think the Jets will get to 6 wins, improve, and then slightly improve year by year, and maybe make the playoffs in a few years. All right, next division. I think the Ravens win the division next year. If they stay healthy, they had a great draft. The North is going to be hard, it's now it's just 2 quarterbacks. If Deshaun Watson doesn't play till week 12 against the Texans, that should be a good one. So yeah, I got the Ravens. They just built the outside receiver. Every position's really good. Their defense is They always have good defenses in Baltimore. They always have a good coach. Lamar, this is his year. The only big weapon he has is Mark Andrews. It's up to him to make his own receivers, make his own. See if Bateman steps up. See the defense is gonna be good. What's his name? J.K. Dobbins will be back. They're gonna have a good team if they stay healthy. I think they'll win the division. Bengals, I finish them in second and fifth seed in the AFC. I think they'll make the playoffs. 11-6 record. It's gonna be more tougher with a more healthy Ravens team projected. Because I think the Ravens they improved the O line for Joe Burrow. They have the same core, great receiving core. Defense is still good. The team looks better because of the O line improvements. So I think they'll finish in second. The Browns, I think they'll finish in third, 8-9. No with Deshaun Watson for the first 11 games. I think they would have to go pretty mid, and then I think Deshaun Watson's gonna win them a few games. I think they're gonna be like the Miami Dolphins of last year, lose a shitload of games at the beginning, and then once they get Deshaun Watson, they start picking up the pace, but it's too late and they miss the playoffs. So I think the Browns will finish in third in the division. The Steelers, I think they're finishing last because Big Ben's gone, and that's the leader of men is gone. They have a great roster overall, But I think they'll finish in last place because of, the lack of leadership with Big Ben. And you got two quarterbacks. Maybe Kenny Pickett comes in late in the season and wins a couple of games, and then he solidifies himself as the start of next year. But I think it's going to be a little bit rough this year for the Steelers, but they're going to be in a lot of games. They're going to be competing, but they're not going to be winning close games like they used to. But they shouldn't be like firing Mike Tomlin or like fucking axing anyone. This is a transition year. So I think they'll finish in last place. But 15th in the league, it's not bad. 15th in the division. Oh, never mind. I mean in the conference. All right. AFC South, the worst division in probably football. That or the East. But, I think the South's worst with those two bottom teams right there. Colts just got Matt Ryan as quarterback. They still have a good old line. Jonathan Taylor's a beast. Still have a good defense. Frank Reich, Brian Nick Foles as their backup quarterback. Will he be the guy that wins the Super Bowl? And then Matt Ryan just gets, everyone will be just pissed at Nick Foles. But I'm kidding about the Super Bowl shit. I think they'll be a good team. Frank Reich's job's on the line. And I got the Colts winning the division at 12-5. Titans, I got them going 9-8. I think they'll regress a lot. I think they'll miss the playoffs, barely. But they'll go 9-8. They'll still have a winning record, but I think it's gonna be tough without AJ Brown and some key contributors. And Tannehill's not the long-term answer. It's Malik Willis, and he's looking good in preseason. Traylon Burks, to see how he does. Derrick Henry's always a beast. Their defense is always good. Their defense is good. So I think they'll be all right, but I think they'll miss the playoffs. The Jags, I think, again, like the Jets, will have a 2-game spike. I believe in Trevor. I believe in Doug Pearson because he's a Super Bowl winning coach. They overspend this offseason with for Kirk and what they got, Zay Jones. They got a lot of players. They overspend. But you got to spend money in the NFL, and hopefully those weapons help out Trevor Lawrence. I think they win a few more games. Texans, I got them finishing dead last. I don't know what. 1-16 may be harsh, but I think they're just a bad team. And to show you who they beat, I think they beat the Bears week 3. So they don't go on one of those, oh my God, they may go 0-17 jargon. They just beat the Bears in week 3. And people think, the Texans are not that bad. But the Bears just have a random blunder. So, yeah, I got the Texans finishing in last place. All right, now let's go with my division. AFC West, I got the Chiefs finishing first, 11-6. I think Mahomes is still good. Kelsey's still good. O-line is great. Maybe if they get the running game going, they'll be even better. Spagnuolo's a fraud, but, their defense... Their defense clutched up late in the season last year, and you can't deny that. They weren't good overall, but last year, late in the season, they clutched up. Andy Reid's always a fucking great coach, I think they'll finish in first, despite the AFC West loading up. The Broncos, I got them finishing in the second place in the division and making the playoffs. I know it's a homer pick, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not picking the Raiders to make the playoffs. I'm definitely not picking the Chargers to make the playoffs. So I got the Broncos finishing second. I don't think they'll be a Super Bowl contender, but they're going to make the playoffs this year with the addition of Russell Wilson. New additions on this team, a new coaching staff, just a fresh mindset. I think Russ can take this team to the playoffs, but I don't know what else. We'll see when I get to my playoff predictions down the line. I got the Raiders finishing in third, 9-8. McDaniels, new coach. They brought in Devontae Adams. That's a big move. Brought in Chandler Jones. They had a good offseason. I think they'll still finish with a winning record. I think like the AL East in the baseball, I think every team in this division will finish with a winning record. I got them at 9-8. Every team's gonna split with each other. It's gonna be a dogfight. But I got the Raiders finishing in third. Because Derek Carr's gonna let that fucking team down again. That's all I gotta say. I think they'll be a good competitive team. They're gonna be less drama throughout the year, but I think they'll get like the Raider way will get to them, and the autumn wind will blow and get in their favor. But it's gonna be a fucking dogfight. All these teams are fucking competitive in this division. It's gonna be tough. And then the Chargers, I think they're just overhyped, but they're a good team. I got them finishing in 9-8 as well. I think it's just gonna be slim fucking pickings throughout this division. It's gonna be tough and close. 9-8 because they're the most overhyped team. And what happened with those Brown teams? A lot of overhyped teams throughout the seasons. They don't do good the first year when they're like projected to do good, and then the next year they finally blow up. I think the Chargers will blow up next year. This year, I know they added Mack, they added J.C. Jackson, they added a lot of players. Herbert's a fucking beast. Keenan Allen, Eckler, I think their coach will hold them back because Brandon Staley's a nerd and he wants to go for it all the time. He didn't know how to take the field. He hates his kicker. I know the Chargers have PTSD of their kickers missing, but you got to take the 3. Like, you got to take the 3 points. I know you got a great quarterback who can convert fourth downs, but sometimes you got to take the 3. You got to take the 3. And sometimes you got to punt. And Brandon Staley doesn't want to. So he'll be fired after this year because he'll miss the playoffs. So there you go. That's my Chargers rant. Nah. Fuck the Raiders more, but Chargers finishing last in the division. Book it. I don't care. Yeah, alright. So I got the Packers finishing first. No shock. Oh my god. I got Aaron Rodgers. The defense has improved. I know the receiving core without Devontae Adams looks like a bunch of Kmart employees, but Alan Lazard's gonna step up. Tongan's still gonna be their good tight end. They got they still have Cobb. Like, they're gonna have average receivers, but you still have Aaron Rodgers and a good old line. Like, who cares? You're gonna run this division. So I got the Packers finishing first. 6, I think Kevin O'Connell will win Coach of the Year, either him or Hackett. I think the Vikings will finish in second place in this division and make the playoffs. I don't know what they'll do in the playoffs, but they're a good team. Again, Justin Jefferson's in his prime. He's starting to hit his prime. Allen Thielen, and then the combination of Madison and Cook is just a great running back duo. And their defense is all right. So, yeah, I got the Vikings finishing in second. All right. I got the Detroit finishing in third. I just think Dan Campbell's a beast. He's a great coach. Jared Goff's going to be the transition quarterback. Obviously, I think this will be his last year. They'll draft a quarterback, and maybe he has one more year under, next to a quarterback. They had a good draft overall. It's just about getting the young players going this year and like trying to, they're not going to start off like they did last year. They're not going to have a significant losing streak and then everyone thinks they're going to go 0-17. I think they'll win a few games here and there. So, yeah. As for the Bears, I think they'll improve with a new coaching staff. We'll see what the new OC does. Justin Fields, Moody, those guys. I think Justin Fields will take a step up. They'll win a few more games. Yes, to stay healthy. That O-line needs to protect them. That O-line's atrocious. They need to protect Justin Fields. The defense is regressing every year, but, they got a defensive-minded coach. So, we'll see what they do. But I got them finishing in last, but, not by much. All right, the South. I got the Buccaneers finishing first. What a shocker. I got them going 13-4. They'll have a great season. That's it. They have a fucking stacked team. Evans, Godwin, Julio Jones. I know Gronk retired. Who cares? Fournette's a great running back with Ronald Jones. Their defense is elite. I know Todd Bowles he's the new coach. Arians went to the front office, but Todd Bowles, defensive mind, they still have Leftwich as their OC. They still have Brady. So this is their last dance pretty much with Brady, because I think, I know everyone says this every year, this is Brady's last year, but I think it's actually his last year. But if he doesn't retire next year, then I'm just never gonna say he's gonna retire. So yeah. I got the Saints in second place. Dennis Allen will be their new head coach. They got Winston. They got Jarvis Landry. They got signed Honey Badger. They're a good team overall, but I think they'll take a step back with no Sean Payton as their head coach. I think they'll have another missed playoffs. And then they'll decide on drafting a quarterback down the line because Jameis Winston won't get. I think he's a solid quarterback, but that team's regressing overall. I think Saints finish in second place. All right, and I think what's his name? Matt Rule gets fired, and I think it's gonna be a bad quarterback day for a quarterback season for the damn Panthers. I think they'll just have a shitty season overall. Sam Darnold and Mayfield. I like Mayfield, but I think he'll have just a bad organization, terrible coach. They have great players like Chin, CMC, and more, but they're getting wasted on that team. But yeah, I got them finishing in third because I think they're better than the damn Falcons. 116, I think that's a little bit too harsh, but I look again, I don't see them winning a lot of games, but I don't think they'll be 116. I just see the schedules that I looked at, I just don't see them winning a lot of games. I had to pick them to win one game, but yeah, the Falcons, I think they'll go 116. They won't be a good team. But I don't really think they're going to go 116. But the damn schedules I see, their schedule, it's just so hard. So I think they'll be bad. And Desmond Ridder will come in sooner than later. Kyle Pitts, Drake London are going to be good threats. Terrell on defense is a great corner. They have they got to get pieces and then draft their quarterback. Maybe they'll get a quarterback next year. Or maybe they stick with Ridder and then build around him. We'll see what happens for the Saints. I mean, not the Saints, the Falcons. All right. The West, I think the Rams repeat as West champions. They're defending champions. I think they're a great team. And they got Allen Robinson, they got Bobby Wagner. They added to their team. Even though they lost Von Miller and OBJ's hurt, that's why they didn't re-sign him. They have a great team. Stafford got extended. Cooper Kupp got extended. They still have Darnold. They have McVay. They have a great culture there. It's a great team. They're winning. I think they'll win the division again. And as for the Cardinals, I think they'll have a great season. I think Kyler Murray will be pissed off of all the people criticizing him for playing video games and not studying. I think they won't have a second half collapse. I think they'll have a great season, going 12-5. I think same as the Rams, but I think the Rams will win the division slightly by the tiebreaker or whatever, or division record. I have no fucking clue. All right, I got the Niners in 9-8. I think they'll still have a good winning season. They'll miss the playoffs barely because Trey Lance is young, inexperienced, but they have a good running attack. Devo's a beast. Shanahan's crew. The Niners will have a good season. I just don't think they'll make the playoffs. We have, the NFC looking pretty good. And the division, between them, Cardinals, and Rams, it's solid. Solid teams. The Niners are not a pushover. They still have a great culture, great coach, good defense. You can't deny that, All right, last place I got the Seahawks, 4-13 with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. They have a good receiving core. They upgraded the offensive line. Defense is but this year I think they'll lose some games and then go for a quarterback, and still upgrade the O line, D line. And maybe Pete Carroll resigns after gets fired after this year, and they go with a new coach and move in a different direction. I don't know. Losing Russell Wilson is going to be tough, but I don't think they'll be as bad as the Falcons or the Texans. I think they'll be all right. Well, 4-13 is not all right, but it's better than the Falcons and Texans. All right, last division, NFC East. I got the Cowboys in first with 12-5. I think that's a little high, but the teams that I see them playing, it's just how it is. It's not the exact record, but I don't want to make up random records that don't make sense. So, Yeah, I got the Cowboys finishing first in the division there, and then I got the Eagles in second at 10-7. I think that's really accurate. 10-7, 9-8, 11-6 is like their range. I think they're a good playoff team. Good roster all around. Had a good draft. Got AJ Brown. They have a good receiving core. I just don't trust Jalen Hurts, but they have to get the running game going like they did last year, and they'll get to the playoffs again. I don't know how far, but yeah. Washington, I think they'll go 8-9. I think they're better with Wentz. Doesn't mean they're going to be a playoff team. I think they'll be pretty mediocre. They extended Terry, which is good. Chase Young's not going to be playing for a few games, so that's going to be tough. Their defense has to, reprove themselves. Jack Del Rio has to reprove that defense. Like last year, everyone overhyped the defense, including myself, because that 2020 defense was really good. But 2021 was way, way worse than it was. So, yeah. And then I got the Giants in last place, 6-11. I think they win 6 or 7 games. The Giants got a new coach. I think they start winning more games once they add Tyrod Taylor to the mix, because he fits Daboll's system. He was the OC with Tyrod Taylor. He knows him as a quarterback. And I think Daniel Jones will be gone after this year. Kenny Galladay has to step up with that team. Barkley, too. They have a lot of guys that are on the hot seat, or, guys that really need to step up. But I think they'll be last place team again, and then they'll finally get rid of Daniel Jones. I think 6 wins is not good enough. 6 or 7 wins. If they get 7 wins, that's good for them. But yeah, so yeah, that's my predictions for every division. So let's go let's go to the playoffs. So the Packers and the Bills get the bye. All right, so I have to change it. So here's my playoff prediction. It's going to be tough for me, but oh well. Oh my God. Freezing, man. Freezing. All right, let's go. All right, so Bills and Packers get the bye. So it'll be Ravens versus Patriots, Buccaneers versus Eagles, Colts versus Chiefs. Oh no, Colts versus Broncos, Chiefs versus Bengals, Rams versus Vikings, Cowboys versus Cardinals. So all right, let's go with the AFC. I think the Ravens beat the Patriots and move on. The Colts beat the Broncos at home because Broncos are still not ready. I think it'll be a close game, but yeah. Got the Colts beating the Broncos, and then I think the Chiefs get a win over the Bengals. So then it'll be what will it be? It will be Colts and Ravens and Chiefs and Bills. I think the Bills win at home and move on to the AFC Championship game, and then the Ravens beat the Colts and move on to the AFC Championship game. And I got the Bills winning against the Ravens and moving on to the Super Bowl. All right, let's go to the NFC. So the Packers get the bye week. All right, so it'll be Buccaneers versus Eagles again. I got the Buccaneers winning. So yeah, there's no shocker. Rams versus Vikings, which is interesting. Kevin O'Connell against his old team. Yeah, I got the Rams winning. Whoa, what a shocker. Cowboys versus Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals on the road in Dallas. Kyler Murray never loses in Dallas. That's all I gotta say. So what will it be? So it'll be Packers versus Cardinals and Buccaneers versus Rams. So give me the Buccaneers winning that one against the Rams at home, and Brady gets his redemption. And it'll be Cardinals versus Packers. You know what? Give me the Packers winning this game at home in Lambeau against the Cardinals, and then it'll be Buccaneers versus Packers in the NFC Championship game, and then give me the Buccaneers winning it against the Packers. So now my Super Bowl prediction will be drumroll, whatever, fuck. Buccaneers versus Bills. Give me the Bills beating the Buccaneers of a score of 31-22. I think Brady retires as a loser, and the Bills win. Brady hates blue and red New York teams. The Bills finally win the Super Bowl and their curse, and that's it. That's my prediction for the 2022-2023 season. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. So those are my predictions. I know this video's long. I'm going to put it in a premiere. And that's all I got to say. Peace.